tell you one other story just to put some context around who John is.
Sure.
So we were having a barbecue on a Sunday. A friend had a place out in Oakdale, and I happened to be in New York, and we were going to have a barbecue out there, go on the boat, go on a jet ski, just hang out for the day.
Gotcha.
And John was invited there. I don't recall who invited him, but somebody did, because there was going to be quite a group of people of us, and the wives and girlfriends or whatever.
Gotcha.
And John shows up with his, I think she was 6 years old at the time, his daughter.
Okay.
He had with him often. Well, there was no life jacket for the daughter.
Right.
So I had a few drinks, but the friend that was with me hadn't, and I said, Rick, can you take John up to this marine store, and so he can get his daughter a life vest?
Right.
So they get in the car, and I get a call about, 20 minutes later from Rick saying, Bill, John doesn't have any money to get this life vest.
Gotcha.
It's $60. I said, okay, well, there's money in the console, buy it for him.
Right.
So, because my friend had left his wallet, he was wearing swimming trunks,
Right.
But, I've seen these videos, and he's trashed a few friends of mine, and all over the internet, and
well, that's their theme, they'll trash everybody else, and they make themselves always look like the most powerful, the richest, everything,
exactly.
And everybody else is beneath them. That seems to be their playbook for the lying informant. That's what it seems to be.
Right, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, just say who you are and say what. If you're going to go down that road, just be honest.
Absolutely.
Well,
unfortunately, that's a problem that they all tend to share. They all tend to share the problem of telling the truth, and at every angle, they don't realize when you're a liar, there's going to be people who pick up on those lies. There's going to be people such as yourself who are directly involved and know it's a lie, and there's going to be another side to the story, and that's why I feel giving this platform and making people have the ability to say, no, that's not true, is so important, because all the public is hearing are these one-sided stories that paint these guys in the best of light. It's comical. It's absolutely comical.
Absolutely. I appreciate what you and the We Push Back community, I appreciate what you guys are doing. It's
thank you.
Somebody has to get facts out,
And honestly, that's what it's about. I let people know my opinion, but the truth is, I always say, don't go by my opinion. Just listen to the facts. Listen to the different sides. Right. Listen to who has receipts, who has backup, and then you decide who's lying. And anybody with half a brain, it's very easy to figure out who's lying.
Absolutely. And it's mind-numbing. And like I said, I probably wouldn't have even done this if it got on here and talked a little bit if it hadn't impacted me directly. Now it's impacted me directly, and I feel terrible. I mean, which all too well. It's at some point enough's enough.
Yeah. Yep. And it's funny. That's exactly. I had a gentleman on my show last time. He's an attorney, Matthew Mary. And that's what we were saying. It's like, when's enough? How long is it going to go on where they could just go on, tell stories? And then, look, perfect example. Now you're working on a deal. Somebody starts looking into things. They start doing their due diligence. And now this nonsense comes up, this slander, this defamation. And now it's on us and it's on people who are affected to set the record straight. I just don't understand how that's allowed to play out that way.
I don't either. I mean, in all business, but in my business in particular, reputation is everything. And
absolutely.
I haven't had a problem for 23 years. I've operated all over the country and in a couple other countries. And to have this nonsense out there that isn't even true in the first place, it makes me sick, to be honest with you.
Yep, I agree, and that's why to me it's so important, to be able to say these things, have them shared, so this way anybody doing their due diligence, now they don't get one side of the story. Now they're able to hear it directly from the person involved, and that's what's so vital. And like you, I've been in business a long time. I've built a very good reputation. Never had any of this. this whole segment, when you start seeing how people operate, you start seeing what these line informants do, when you start seeing what their supporters try to do, it's really twisted. And it's very important to have our voice out there to say, okay, they could lie all they want, but here are the facts. Here are the facts of what took place. You know?
Right. And when you see these channels with 17,000 subscribers or 30,000 subscribers, I mean, I've been watching this over the many months, and it just, you say to yourself, how can people actually be believing this?
Yeah.
I mean,
it is surprising. It is surprising.
It's like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yep.
But yeah, like I said, I needed to get something out back at that. I mean, he's caused some trouble over the last couple of months for honest people. A couple of my former subcontractors were visited. I mean, just things like that are just completely out of line, and it's based off of lies.
Yep.
And it's just
and that's their move, just to make themselves look better. They'll throw anybody under the bus just to avoid their own self accountability. And that's the bottom line. They want to avoid anything they may have done, so they want to say, oh, look at this guy, look at that guy, this guy. And meanwhile, you're dealing with legitimate people trying to work, trying to get contracts, trying to just feed their family, and now they got to have this headache on top of it.
Right. Right.
But I really,